We're getting ready for the Great American Seafood Cook-Off. 11 great chefs from around the country are going to show what they've got using domestic seafood.
What a great crowd, the chefs from all over. Even my lieutenant governor friend from Arkansas brought the people in to cheer his chef on, and a great competition. It really has grown not only the number of people that come out to watch, but the participants from all over the country. We have chefs here from Alaska, Florida, Texas, Arkansas, and it's a great opportunity for us to promote domestic seafood and how important it is, and the safety over the imported seafood. And it gives us an opportunity for us to promote Louisiana seafood, which is the best in the world, right here at the Gulf. So it gives us a real advantage on what we have, so much fresh seafood, but to bring other states in and show them how it tastes, and how when we prepare our seafood, it's not just a meal, it's a party. And every chef has a different personality, a different way of preparing a dish. It makes it that much more interesting. It makes it a party.
Our whole point is to promote that wonderful domestic seafood and make the most out of that. And we've got the right people to do it. And now we're going to see what the other states have going for them. It gets bigger and better each year. Each year has its own personality. This year we're excited. We've got 2 female competitors. So we've, I think, only had one at a time before. So it's going to be a great year.
Cooking some Massachusetts Bay bluefish. We're going to smoke it with some corn cobs and serving it with corn risotto and tomato relish, grilled zucchini.
How'd you come up with the idea for this?
Well, in Massachusetts, one of the big dilemmas, though it is the Bay State, is coming up with sustainable seafood. There's a lot of seafood in the area, but finding really great seafood that's sustainable is a dilemma. So bluefish is one of the ones that is abundant. It's full flavored and delicious, and we decided that it's the fish we should go with. And smoking it, it takes the flavor of the smoke really well.
What do you like the most about cooking with seafood?
Just about everything. Eating it, it's really cool, you know.
What varieties of seafood do you have in Massachusetts?
The cod, haddock, pollock, lobster, crabs, clams, oysters, shrimp. There's all sorts of stuff. It's abundant. Again, it's not all sustainable.
How do you tell people to prepare seafood?
Simply. First and foremost, find out where it's from and how it's caught. And second, keep it simple. All of the local ingredients on the dish are from local farms in Massachusetts, including our own garden that's on our rooftop. And it's bluefish. It's great. Enjoy.
We're doing a Texas Gulf seafood paella. That's what we're calling it.
What was your inspiration for this dish?
Just the Gulf of Mexico seafood. You know, it's just diverse, and it has a lot of, you know, just all kinds of, seafood. And we're using today redfish, and off the Gulf of Mexico, and we're also using shrimp from the Gulf of Mexico on our dish.
Tell us about the seafood that's available in Texas.
We just like we can get that everywhere. Just like, now it's easy to get seafood from anywhere. But Gulf of Mexico, seafood, I like it because it's close and we get it locally, and we can source it out locally. So that's what I really liked about that, and the freshness that you can get it really quick because you're there.
What's your secret for preparing a dish like this in this kind of competition?
I'm using different techniques, different flavors, different ethnics. We influenced a little bit with little Mexican influence in there. We did a little barbecue to give it a little Texas influence, and we also did a little bit of the traditional paella style of seasoning. So it gives it a different blend. So that's what I was trying to look for, trying to incorporate all those flavors.
What's your advice for the chef at home?
Keep it simple, and a little salt, pepper goes a long way as well. And the fresher, the better. The clams and the mussels just steamed with a little bit of the lobster broth that we had on the sauce, and garnished it with peas. And we made a roasted corn foam to garnish it and also be part of the dish. And what you want to do is You have your chipotle lobster sauce, which is one of the boats, so you just pour as much as you want on there. It's got a little chipotle in it, so it's going to have a little Texas pica on there, okay? And then I give you a little crisp of the lavash and candied bacon twist. So I hope you all enjoy it.
We're cooking a seared blackfin tuna. It's going to have a chocolate cumin crust, and we're making a miso dragon fruit ice cream to go with it. We have a quad of sauces, all Asian inspired. It's going to be an amazing dish. We're all about sustainability today.
How'd you come up with the idea for this?
Well, we constantly work with sustainable seafood. Blackfin tuna is one of my favorite underutilized fish, and we love making ice cream with liquid nitrogen, and so putting it all together for this just seemed perfect for the Great American Seafood Cook-Off.
What kind of options are there for seafood in Florida?
Oh my God, you have 3 different areas. You have the Gulf Coast region, you have the lower Gulf Coast, you have the Atlantic, I said 3, and then you have Key West. So you have seafood, a plethora of it. We have so many great species of fish and crustaceans from Florida. I mean, it was very hard to pick one fish to do, but we wanted to stay sustainable, which is the real true meaning here at Great American Seafood Cook-Off, so we chose the blackfin tuna.
What do you like the most about cooking with seafood?
One, everyone loves seafood, so as a chef, it makes it easy to put art on a plate and serve our guests. The versatility of all of our Gulf and seafood is wonderful, and the flavors are just amazing. Blackfin tuna, it does not get more sustainable than that. I have a nonprofit that focuses on serving sustainable seafood, and I'm proud of it. All right, we've got Gulf waters. We got to save those for generations to come, and that's why I chose this dish today. I am passionate about sustainable seafood. I love it. I love being here. I mean, what do you want me to say? I hope you love it. We wanted to do a whole aspect of being here in New Orleans. We chose Steen's syrup in part of our dish as a tribute to Louisiana. We soaked our wood chips in absinthe as a tribute to here in New Orleans. Florida grown, where's Justin Timoneri? Florida, fresh from Florida grown mangoes. Lemongrass was grown under a bridge in Pensacola, Florida, along with our mint chocolate and our opal basil in an area that was deemed unusable for anything else. And that's where we got our herbs from. A group of chefs grow produce under a bridge in Pensacola, all right? Everything about this dish is everything we're passionate about. So I can't tell you anymore. I'm glad I'm done. The rest of you, good luck.
We're cooking Dungeness crab today.
How'd you come up with the idea?
Well, I've been crabbing since I was pretty much baby in diapers, and so it's kind of something that's totally me, Oregon, and my family, and Dungeness crab was like the best crab you can have, so why not? Why not cook Dungeness crab, right?
Tell us, what type of seafood options are there in Oregon?
We have tuna, halibut, crab, oysters, salmon, a ton of river fish. Pretty much, we have it all.
What's your advice to people at home watching this and may want to try to cook some seafood?
What's great about Oregon seafood is that everything tastes so good, and so you don't want to overwhelm it because you really want to taste the flavors of the seafood that you're eating. So I would say not overwhelming your palate with the other flavors, but really tasting the actual seafood.
I do a lot of cooking with kids. I have a Bible study that girls come over all the time, and I've had 30 girls in my kitchen making homemade pasta. So to me, that's special in that way. And then the cream on the bottom, or the sauce on the bottom, is a corn and leek sauce that I just think pairs well with the crab. And then a vinaigrette type lemon sauce on top, which is lemon, olive oil, a little tarragon. And a lot of the herbs actually come from my garden. We tried to transport some of the flowers. That didn't do so hot. So luckily we actually found these from, we found them from the local sponsor. So that was really great. But yeah, any questions?
We're cooking some black drum with Asiago and blue cheese grits, some sauteed kale with pine nuts, and country ham.
What was the inspiration for this dish?
It's all locally sourced products. It's fish we find in our local waters. Grits are a local staple of South Carolina, and kale with country ham and pine nuts is something we have available all the time.
What tips do you have to somebody watching this might like to try cooking with seafood?
Be careful of how long you cook the seafood because it's very sensitive to temperature, and just season it the way you'd like to eat it. We have a Carolina drum special today. Hand-seared black drum with Asiago cheese grits. Of course, you know, that South Carolina staple is is stone ground grits. We got some blue crab underneath there, cooked a little lightly in butter, a little fresh herbs. We've got a roasted pepper coulis, some fried green tomato petals, which are, of course, one of South Carolina's favorites. And then we have a little garnish with some micro herbs, celery leaves, radish, and a little champagne vinegar to give you a little acid to cut all the sweetness, richness, and fat of the dish.
I'm cooking a trio of Gulf shrimp. So we're doing a French-style royal red, a New Orleans-style white, and a Spanish-style brown.
How'd you come up with the idea for this?
It's kind of where all I've lived or cooked in my life. Jackson, we do Mediterranean food at the restaurant. I lived here in New Orleans doing barbecue shrimp, and grew up reading summer reading books in Florida, eating royal reds.
What do you like the most about cooking with seafood?
Seafood, it's all about the freshness. You know, if your product's not fresh, you're dead in the water to begin with. It's very delicate, and also very subtle flavors make it shine.
What's your advice for the chef at home?
Advice for the chef at home is just pay attention, read, pay attention to detail, let your heart shine. What I have here is kind of like a background of my life. On the first side, you'll see some royal red shrimp. Used to eat these while I was reading my summer reading books down in Perdido Key, Florida. You know, it was the shrimp, it was the highlight of the trip every time we got a royal red. Next up, what I have is a barbecued shrimp. I spent some time down here in New Orleans. I worked for John Besh, got me here. I worked for Alon Shai at Dominica. Before I left New Orleans, I wanted to make sure I worked in a New Orleans establishment with New Orleans people. So I went to Mr. B's Bistro. They're famous for their barbecued shrimp. On the last one is kind of a thing we do in Jackson, Mississippi. We cook Mediterranean food. So I've got a serrano wrapped shrimp, artichoke, and piquillo pepper vinaigrette, and that's all.
I'm doing a Berber spiced Gulf red snapper with andouille crushed potatoes, a little dandelion green pesto, shiitake mushroom broth, and some fresh summer vegetables.
What was the inspiration for this dish?
Well, I really like Berber. It kind of mirrors blackening spice, and people really like that. And it's got some of those same flavors, but a little funkiness to it.
What advice do you have for someone cooking seafood for the first time?
Try to make sure it's very fresh. Don't overcook it, and kind of take your time with it.
What seafood options do you have in Alabama?
With the coast there, we've got some great aquaculture, oysters, snapper, shrimp, a lot of stuff, crab, absolutely. We've got kind of a reflection of the summer. We've got some great summer vegetables to go along with this fish. Some house-made andouille sausage crushed into those Yukon Gold potatoes, some Georgia olive oil. Really, I was thinking about blackened fish, and that Berber spice kind of has some of those same tones to it. A little funkier, and just really excited to show what North Alabama can do with some domestic Gulf seafood. Thank you, guys.
We're gonna do a quick cure and smoke on one piece, and then we're gonna make a mousseline, and then we're just gonna do a straight salt and pepper and sear on one piece.
What kind of seafood options do you have in Utah?
As far as from Utah, we have crawfish, crawdads, we have trout, bass, but other than that, we do a lot of UPS, FedEx ships from Hawaii, from the East Coast, the West Coast.
What tips do you have for someone that may want to try cooking seafood maybe for the first time?
Just keep it simple. Don't put too much on it. Just try to a little salt, pepper, and some citrus, and you're good to go. Utah lake trout. Prepared 3-4 different ways. We took a piece, put a quick cure and a quick smoke on it. We made a mousseline out of it, almost like a sausage, and just a simple salt and pepper sear on one more piece. And then we took the head, fried it, tossed it in a little bit of white soy and our local honey wine vinegar from Utah. And then we have a little bit of trout roe with a chilled corn, Utah corn vichyssoise, a little seaweed salsa verde underneath.
We're cooking an Ivory King salmon today, and we're focusing on the belly meat. Seafood in Alaska is the wildest and the freshest, and we produce 60% of all the domestic seafood that's bought and sold in the United States.
How many years have you been cooking seafood?
20 years I've been cooking seafood. Started as a commercial fisherman when I was 22.
How do you prepare for a contest like this?
Well, we get the best seafood that we can, and we chose the Ivory King salmon fresh from the sea, and we are ready to prepare it and fillet it, and we brought the whole fish with us in a violin case, and we're going to cut it up here for you. It's as fresh as it can be.
What advice do you have for someone at home that'd like to try cooking with seafood maybe for the first time?
Seafood is very simple. It takes a short amount of time to cook seafood. We like to cook our seafood hot and quick, and not a lot of seasonings. Fresh lemon, fresh vegetables are really great with seafood. You can do a little tasting salt on the end, but seafood does not need a lot of handling, and you like to cook it very quickly. And don't overcook the seafood. In Alaska, we're as proud of our seafood as you guys are in Louisiana. We actually have fishing management in our Constitution. We love our fishermen, we love our seafood, and I came here all the way from Alaska to tell you that our fishermen love you. Please support Alaska's seafood. So tonight I have chosen the Ivory King salmon, which is a very amazing delicacy in Southeast Alaska. This is a plate that shares my history of my culinary road. So I came to Alaska to fish. I fell in love with the seafood, and then ended up fishing so I could study abroad in Spain. And so this plate is my homage to Spain and what it taught me about the passion of cooking. And so we have the belly, which is my star of the plate. And when we serve salmon in our restaurant, the fishermen who come in always order the belly. So this is what we're presenting to you. And then on the dorsal part of the salmon, we've marinated the fish in harissa, Moroccan spicy paste, to give it a nice kick. And we fried up the salmon skin. The salmon skin has a lot of flavor where they love their garlic, and I hope that you enjoy it also. So thank you, and buen provecho.
I'm doing a blackened sous vide grouper. So we're going to sous vide the grouper, and then we're going to blacken it. It's going to slow poach it. I'm making a fava bean puree, a sweet potato puree, a corn and millet slaw, and topping it with truffled crab meat.
What's your inspiration for this?
I recently took a trip to Italy, so it's a very, very big inspiration from that. Also, this is the same dish that I won with the Louisiana Seafood Cook-Off. So, you know, I mean, I thought about a lot of doing something different, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know?
What do you like the most about cooking with seafood?
I mean, the freshness of it, you know? I mean, I went, so this morning we went to New Orleans Fish House and actually cut our own grouper this morning. I hand-picked them, and only in Louisiana can you actually hand-pick your own fish, and it's amazing. I recently took a trip to Italy not too long ago, very inspiring for me. So the fava beans that's the fava beans, you know, and then the sweet potato, bring it back to Louisiana. Holla, Louisiana, where you at? Okay, on top of the fish is a corn and millet slaw, which is there's a little sweetness, there's a little spice to it. It's really fresh and summery and kind of, you know, cold. So there's a lot of play on things that are happening here. And on top of that is colossal lump crab with truffle, oil, salt, and shaved truffle as well. Also bringing it back to that Italy trip that I just took, so y'all enjoy.
We are actually going to be doing a bronze grouper over a Arkansas rice cake that's stuffed with lump crab meat and our own special Corsi's bacon. And we're going to be doing a lemongrass custard sauce with a native Arkansas relish with all the beautiful produce we have to accentuate the flavors of the beautiful seafood y'all have down here in Louisiana.
Tell us about how the inspiration for this dish.
The inspiration actually became from a combination between me and my sous chef. He was mowing the yard and he said grass and lemongrass, and we started playing with it, and he wanted it to be summery and fresh, and so we just ran with the idea, and it's a completely original dish.
What do you like the most about cooking with seafood?
I just love that it's simple and hard at the same time. It can be real easy to cook, but if you overcook it or undercook it, it's hard to play with. So mastering the art of seafood is a challenge in itself, and I always like challenges. So,
what tip do you have for the chef at home?
The chef at home, just keep it simple. Don't try to overcomplicate it. Let the flavors of your seafood speak for itself, and then just kind of work around your seafood. Yeah, don't cover it up. Just let it talk for itself. I just wanted y'all enjoy all the fresh produce and stuff that Arkansas has to offer, mixed with the best seafood there is on the face of the planet, which is from Louisiana. And so it's light and bright and fresh, and it just reminds me of a picnic back home. And also, I lived on the coast for a while, so it takes me to both places at the same time. So I really hope you guys enjoy, and thank y'all so much for letting me be here.
We hope that you enjoyed this. It has been a great day. We can't do it again without all the terrific people. And let's hear it for our judges. Good job. That's hard work. I know you're envious when you see them eating that, but it is hard work. And of course, all our competitors, guys, y'all have just made this an incredible year. Thank you so much. Let's have it. And now I'll introduce Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser.
Thank you. I too want to thank the judges, the contestants, and for everyone for coming from so far away to promote our seafood in this great country. And to the local chefs that have helped out through the whole weekend in producing and cooking Louisiana's best seafood fresh out the Gulf, I want to thank them. Corey, thank you again for all you do. All the sponsors, and may the best person win. Thank you.
Third place.
You're going to read it. See, only one person will be glad if I read it.
Third place from the state of Massachusetts, Chef Peter McCarthy. Congratulations, Chef.
All right. Thank you. Right here. All right, baby. Congratulations. Thank you.
Second place.
Read the right name, Steve Harvey.
Second place, Chef John Monday from Arkansas. That's a new one.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Right here. Woo! Right here. How you doing? Next year we
Hey, thank you guys for everything.
All right, so first place in the Great American Seafood Cook-Off goes to Chef Alex Eaton from Mississippi.
Keep it in the Gulf. Thank y'all all so much. Never really know what to say in these situations, but I know all these people here work really hard each and every day, and this is just a little, I don't know why we do it sometimes. We just punish ourselves, but it's for the love of the food. It's for the love of the people that we serve. It's for the love of just everything involved with food. You know, friends, fellowship. Thanks for all y'all for coming out and supporting all of us and paying attention. You know, this seafood is one thing we can do honest, so let's do it together. Thank you.
Here's our king of American seafood, everybody. Go give a big hand to all the competitors out there.
We got the new king of seafood here from right next door in Mississippi. So we're great to keep it right here in the Gulf of Mexico with a great partner not far in Mississippi. So it's just a great honor.
Tell us your reaction when you're called the king of seafood.
Just a shock. You know, you never expect to win. You always have to put your best foot forward, try to do your thing, and hope people appreciate it. So it's just nice to be appreciated.
What did you cook today?
I did a trio of the 3 types of Gulf shrimp, Gulf brown, Gulf white, and a royal red. So, yeah, we did different styles. I actually spent some time cooking in New Orleans, so I had to do a shout out with the barbecue shrimp in the middle.
What went through your mind when they called out your name?
What's that?
What went through your mind when they called out your name?
A lot more work probably ahead. Just joyous. I know my family's proud, so just proud to make my family proud.
Actually, I was completely taken aback. I knew we had a good dish. I was confident in my dish, but it was all up to the judges. And thank thank the judges so much and this wonderful crowd. I'm so happy right now, and I'm still kind of just speechless, to be honest with you. So, this is one of the best experiences of my life.
I was very excited. I think it's really great. You know, we worked really hard at making this bluefish dish perfect and showing off what we do in Massachusetts and the great, wonderful ingredients of our state.
Just so proud of the folks that came down from Arkansas and just honored that we were invited by Billy. I can't believe this is the first year Arkansas entered, and as soon as I got the letter about this, I was like, we're doing this, we're going. And so we're going to make this a tradition, and we're going to be here every year, and we're just really excited. And now, you know, I'm just ready for a fork so I can start trying all the dishes. They look so good, but we don't need any models. We want to eat it.
Lieutenant Governor, your reaction?
Listen, Arkansas brought so many people down, and it was so kind of Lieutenant Governor with such a busy schedule to come down himself. We'll be going out to Drago's tonight to eat some oysters.
Yep.
And looking forward to a long friendship and partnership with tourism from Arkansas to Louisiana.
You want to get that local seafood. You're looking for something that is fresh. You don't have chemicals in it, and go for the best. Know better, eat better is what we say.
If people have questions like more information, what should they do?
Just go to our website, louisianaseafood.com.